Is it still behind us?
It's been silent for a minute. But what the hell was it?
Doesn't matter. We've got to get to Obediah's house. The gate's around here somewhere.
It was aquatic, but on its hind legs, like some sort of swamp creature. And all this fog.
I don't care what it was. Let's just... There's his gate. Thank God.
This fog is impossible. I can't see more than maybe 10 feet. There's no natural cause I can think of.
Is that...
Run!
It's been 2 days since the attack at the station. When I woke up with a pounding headache and a broken finger, I very carefully drove myself to Angels View Clinic and made up an elaborate story about a baseball accident. Butterfingers and all. They set my pinky finger in place, gave me a cast, and loaded me up with pain medication. If I wasn't numb to all hell, I'd probably be frightened of another attack. I still couldn't quite wrap my head around it. Why had two of the notoriously nicest people on the town council just tried to kill me? Carrie had rambled something about skinning teenagers and somebody called Mydrin. My head wasn't putting together coherent thoughts. And, frankly, I didn't care as much as I probably should have. There'd been the mysterious gold and the string of disappearances, but through the haze of the opiates, I found my mind singularly drawn to the flicker of the library's fireplace. I'd still taken precautions, of course. I had my dad's Winchester Model 21 perched next to the reclining chair that I was sitting on, and I'd made certain that all of the doors and windows had been locked. In fact, I felt safer than I had in years, all wrapped up in a blanket, reading the third Rick Brant novel, a series I'd adored when I was younger. And so, at the front door, what's the hurry? Could it be Carrie back to finish the job? Well, I've got the gun. No harm in taking a peep. Wonder if it's Mother, and she just lost her key. I tried to call her last week, but all I got was some garbled chatter about a train robbery before the line went dead. Sounds like she's having... Is that Caleb? Shit.
Unlatch the chain already! Christ!
Oh, hi, you two. What's...
Fish people. Squelching. Lurking. Ugly fish people.
What?
We were coming from the Renaissance. Saw the new picture, Land of the Lost, and then there was all this fog.
And then there were all these gunshots like half a mile away.
And then a scream. A real bad one. Like someone got their leg caught up in a bear trap.
Then some kind of fish person monster thing started chasing us.
Guys, after everything we've seen, I've got a pretty open mind, but fish people roaming around Eastmouth? Really? We already did that prank last Halloween, remember? Is that Vic with you now? I thought she was working tonight. Real funny, eggheads. Alright, just shitting bricks here.
I'm dead serious.
Okay, you've got me.
Don't open the door!
What the fuck? The Eastmouth Podcast is written, produced, and engineered by DC Tullis. Based on the world created by DC and JD Tullis.
My 4th day of work was not supposed to go like this. My dad and I had come to an agreement, and he'd helped me get a job as a grocery assistant at Oberstein & Sons Grocery. The job was simple. Stock the shelves with whatever products came out of the boxes that appeared on the yellow shelves in the storage room, answer any brain-rotting questions from annoying customers, try to not look like I already hated having a job. It had gone pretty well so far. Jeremiah Oberstein, the owner, had been acting awfully distracted as of late. Nights without sleep, the look of a man with his mind in a faraway place. But his sons had kept a tight shop even with their father's recent strange behavior. They and my own dad had been awfully helpful at showing me the ropes. It had been going well. Past tense. I'd already started the usual initial preparations for closing when Mr. Deckert, the janitor, started calling the staff to the front of the store. I stood in shock as we watched a thick fog roll in from the seafront and drift up towards Main Street. Within a minute, the entire street outside had been obscured by it. We were all amazed at first, but that took a gnarly turn real quick when the first of the screams and gunshots sounded. Suddenly, there was panic. My dad practically dragged me back to the deli counter and told me to stay put. There was a connecting hallway behind the bakery and deli kitchen that led to the grocery department and the loading bay. A few employees immediately opened the loading bay door and darted to their cars. Dad told me he'd fetch the Pontiac, grab me at the door, and we'd be home quickly. Back in a jiffy, he said. Stay here. It's safer, he said. Well, it had been 10 minutes, and he was nowhere to be found. I should have insisted that I go with him. The few remaining workers or customers that hadn't gone out searching for their cars had either locked themselves in the break room or found some other hiding place. As it was, I was alone, hiding behind a counter, clutching a butcher's knife that stunk of fish guts. It had gotten real silent. Too silent. I felt the inevitable before it even happened. All at once, the sound came. A cacophony of damage erupted as the front window exploded inward. The store had been breached. There's no way! That's not what I think it was. Now I'm really down a creek without a paddle. Should I stay put? What the hell? Dude, there wasn't any instructions for this during my training. Is that clear? Shit. Gotta be real quiet. Aldo? What's he doing here? Dad, where the hell are you?
Run, Victoria!
Danny? You fucking cricket! Danny had rounded the corner from the back hall. He must have come from the bakery kitchen. He'd finally made his way to assistant bakery manager last week. He was so excited. The dude wouldn't shut up about it on my first day. Wish I'd been a little nicer to him, considering that the crushed pieces of his skull were now decorating the tiled kitchen floor. I looked up from his body and shuddered. What stood before me was something out of a creature feature. Ooze leaked from its scaly humanoid body. Rippling muscles gave shape to the scarred flesh. If fish people had Vikings, then I just, watched one kill my coworker. Sorry, Dad. Can't go that way now. My only option was the side exit next to the manager's office, but it was halfway across the store. I had to chance it. If I ran now, maybe I wouldn't find my own head looking like that. Stupid fucking glass! So there I was, racing across the store until... Shit! I'd made quite a bit of distance in the short period of time, until another one of those fish things exited through the soda aisle and cut me off. It would have seen me had I not narrowly ducked into the breakfast aisle. There were two choices at this point. Wait and hope it doesn't notice me, or sneak across to the other end of the aisle and hope the coast is clear. Screw it! I'm not waiting to get my head turned into a fine paste. Okay, I just gotta... The creature had now joined me in the aisle thanks to that little screw-up. Strangely, it didn't seem to detect me. It was waiting. Almost as if it was trying to get a sense of its surroundings. Then, it struck me. The creature might be blind due to its aquatic origins. Gotta thank Caleb's love of creature features for that tidbit of trivia. If that was the case, all I had to do was be real quiet until it left. Oh. Blood everywhere. All over the registers. Shit, can't stop. I was back at a full sprint. The creature was still chasing me. Luckily, this one didn't seem all that fast. I could see the side exit right next to the manager's office. It was so close now, maybe 40 feet away. Suddenly, to my left, another creature emerged at a full sprint. I narrowly dodged it, smashing into a stand of trail mix boxes as I did so. Come on! 30 feet away. 20. 10. Aldo. Is that...
I am so much more than he ever was, Chad. You'll find peace soon enough. She's over here. Take her and load her onto the boat. We've got what we came for.
That's when the fish freak came stumbling out of the mist.
Right after you heard shooting.
Scared the hell out of us. We just started running and your house was the closest location.
Just how far has the fog spread?
I mean, that's the question to ask. We heard some additional gunshots that sounded pretty far away. Main Street, maybe? I didn't hear any towards the school.
Oh, heck. Victoria. She's working tonight.
Are you sure?
I was with her this morning. She had a shift till closing.
She's with her dad. Knowing her, they would have gotten out of there or at least bunkered up somewhere secure.
You saw those things, Obediah. They're fish people. Where else are they going to come from but the ocean? That puts Victoria pretty close to ground zero.
Ground zero? We don't even know what's going on. Maybe they came from the lab or maybe the well. We don't have enough information.
We should call the cops first, then puzzle this out, right?
Good idea. Okay, where's the phone?
There's one over there.
Oh, and don't use the word fish freaks. They'll never believe us.
No use. I'm not getting anything.
What? I've been calling, looking for that Chuck guy not even 3 days ago. We haven't had a storm or anything.
I've been thinking, and I'm pretty sure that the fog is unnatural.
You think?
No, I mean, let it simmer for more than a second. That spooky old sea captain comes back randomly after 5 years without an explanation.
Only to die a few weeks later.
Yep. Then people start disappearing. Gold from foreign countries start washing up on the beach, and now... well, this...
Don't forget Carrie and Gerald losing their damn minds. You're the occult expert, Michael. Any of this adding up?
I don't know. I haven't read about anything like this, at least outside of fiction, but the second and third variables sound like part of a ritual. You kidnap people, sacrifice them, and you get a response from somewhere. But if this is an ongoing ritual, maybe it can be stopped.
And what if this isn't? Yellow eyes isn't magic last I checked.
Good point. So, all we know is that Victoria might be in danger. 2 members of the town council are off their rockers, and all clues lead back to the ocean. Any big ideas? That fog looked awfully thick, and there were those creatures running around. Even with guns, we'd still be running blind if we tried to do anything.
What about the woods? It's fenced off along Main Street. I doubt we'd see as many of those things in the forest.
It's still a mad dash from the tree line to the store.
This is going to sound crazy, but my dad had me drive back and forth from our house to the gas station last summer.
Old unreliable. Yep, I remember.
Yeah, before we trashed that thing and got the station wagon. I remembered the path with my eyes closed. I could...
drive my mom's car through the thickest fog any of us have ever seen, into the middle of what could be a complete war zone?
Obediah, I get your hesitation.
Well, I don't! Reform the Watchers this, protect the town that! We're under siege. We have a friend in danger. And we've got no clue how bad it could be out there. Unless you have a better plan, I say we get moving pronto!
I'm just glad that my mom's out of town.
Shut up, Michael. This isn't the time.
Hey, cool it, Caleb.
Caleb's right. We can't just stay in here.
Could have been such a cozy night.
What would have the Watchers done?
They would have figured out what the hell is going on and stopped it.
Let's do this then. What about weapons?
We've got a hunting knife in the dresser by the front door.
You can't be serious.
What? All talk now, Caleb? With Dad's revolver lost out there in the woods, we don't have any more guns. And hell, we don't even have enough ammo for the gun that we do have.
Let's just take it one step at a time for now. First, we make it back to the plaza and see how bad it's gotten. Then we check out the grocery.
Give me 5 minutes to prepare. We'll head out then.
Oh boy, we're actually doing this. Gotta go slow now. I don't remember your driveway all too well.
Just drive straight. Was the fog this thick before?
I don't think so. It looks like it's getting worse.
Great.
Good. We're on the road now. Okay, I remember this part.
It's unsettling. Lucky it's, pretty far away.
Don't... jinx it.
Guys, I think I saw something.
A dog, maybe? A very large squirrel, perhaps?
Shit!
Focus on the road.
And going faster might be a good idea, too.
I know the route, but you could cut this fog with a knife for Pete's sake!
Just what the hell are they? They're not Fae. They sure as hell don't look like Yellow Eyes.
This town really has a thing for freaks and monsters.
I know Michael's convinced it's some ritual thingy, but maybe it has something to do with the lab. We never did get in there.
Considering how difficult the Watchers and Fae made it to reach, I can't imagine something could break out too easily either.
Well, what then? Oh!
Watch the road!
Sorry, you try driving!
Hey guys, we've picked up a passenger.
What? Shit.
It's on the trunk now.
Michael, duck!
Whoa!
It's trying to grab me!
There's still some head left!
Yeah? Well, try not swerving right as I'm firing.
Fuck, it's got me! It's fucking got me! Shoot it! Shoot it! Oh, hell.
Not bad. Let's see.
Look out!
My head. Michael? Obediah? You two okay?
Should've stayed in tonight.
Is the other driver okay?
Is he? I'm gonna pound some sense into him. He could have killed...
Well, there goes my ride. What the hell was that?
What do you mean? You didn't even have your headlights on, for Christ's sake!
We're not safe here. I've got to make it to St. Gabriel's. Either you come with me and do exactly as I say, or you're on your own.
That's a fair bit of gear in the back of your truck. Glad to run into you, but who the hell are you?
Chuck, I live on the edge of town. Time's a-wasting.
Chuck?
Wait, what luck? I run into the pipsqueak who won't stop calling me. If you can shoot a gun, grab one. Otherwise, carry the medical supplies. We have to move, now!
Haven't fired a shotgun like this in ages.
I can take the medical supplies in that, 1911, I think.
Why St. Gabriel's? Thanks, Michael.
Ammunition for everyone.
There's a tunnel and... Who's there?
Well, there's at least 5.
Run!
We couldn't stop running. The first creature we encountered, the one that followed us to Obadiah's home, had been slow, sluggish even. These were different somehow. They were nearly matching our pace. Michael and Chuck managed to fire off a few shots, but it was tricky business running while shooting. The movies always made it seem so easy. We were now on Main Street, and the fog only seemed to be getting thicker. My peripheral vision picked it up before I heard their approach. There was even more of them now, coming from their kills, their hiding places, drawn to the gunfire. I think we got even more now!
You think? Gunshots for these bastards must be like silver for a squirrel.
I think I got the closest one.
The church has gotta be near.
How are we even going to find it in all this fog?
Well, we have been going straight. It should be...
You shall receive. I can make out the light through the stained glass windows.
Shit!
The scene suddenly soured further as one of the creatures lunged out from the doorstep of a lightless shop. Obediah reacted quickly enough to fire off a shot, but it merely blew off one of the creature's hands. Seemingly unfazed, it pulled Obediah to the ground with its other arm.
Shoot it! Shoot it!
It's down. Now pick yourself up. They're gaining on us.
My heart was pounding frantically in my chest. I'd nearly gotten my head removed by one of those creatures. The chilling clarity of the fog and the constant rush of adrenaline had washed off any lingering numb the drugs for my broken finger had given me. Chuck certainly kept his word. After dropping the beast with 2 clean shots that nearly severed its neck entirely, he kept running right on past me as I desperately scrambled to my feet and tried to catch up. We were now maybe 50 feet from St. Gabriel's. Its Gothic fence began jutting up to my left, and the very thought of being behind a wall of any kind was exceptionally appealing right then. Caleb cleared the gate first and pivoted to his left to begin the sprint up to the colossal wooden doors. Just a bit further.
It's open! Come on! Come on!
I rounded the gate and nearly caught up to Michael, who'd begun to slow down ever so slightly. The monstrous wails of the beasts converged into one as they were funneled through the open gate behind us.
Duck! We'll be safe here. These walls were built to withstand much worse.
Remind me to work on my cardio.
We're pretty much trapped. How are we going to get to Victoria?
We're definitely not going back through the front.
Who's this Victoria you speak of?
A friend. She was working at Oberstein today.
That is a shame. Everything adjacent to the docks is probably devastated. If she's stuck in some closet somewhere, maybe. But a building with that many ground floor windows?
We already made it down here. At this point, we still need to try.
Try and what? You can hear them gathering outside of those doors.
There's always that exit in the cemetery.
Not gonna get us any closer to her. That funnels us into the forest, or traps us between the fence and those things.
So, what's your play, Chuck?
There's a tunnel system beneath these streets. It leads to a laboratory.
We know. We just don't know how to get into the lab without running the gauntlet.
If you know of the lab, I would have thought your father to have informed you.
It's a long story.
It was built to keep those unwanted out, but I know of a way in. Once inside, I'll find the contingency instructions.
Contingency instructions?
A book of Fey translations, evacuation plans, blueprints, all put to paper in the event of a crisis where the old guard was in no position to act. There's some sort of breach happening off the coast.
What kind of breach?
And how do you even know all of this?
My father was in contact with a military organization that handles events that are strange. Events such as these. There were subtle signs at first that something was amiss, but they grew grave when an underwater portal began to open. Something is being summoned to our shore.
A portal? I shouldn't even be surprised at this point.
So, is this military group planning on sending any help our way?
They are, but they may not make it in time.
And if they don't?
They'll be burning the bodies of an empty town.
That's just swell. There's some stupid summoning ritual happening and we're stuck in here.
You said your friend's last known location was Oberstein's?
Yeah?
I'll need a boat once we've left the laboratory. I know of a path through the tunnels that exits on the docks.
Well, the docks aren't very far at all from the grocery.
Exactly. It seems our paths converge for now.
Alright, plan A then. Stop the breach and find Victoria before Eastmouth becomes a smudge on an outdated map.
A plan indeed. Now come on. We have no more time to waste on idle chat.
Creepy tunnels. Here we come.